Yay! Popcorn sounds fabulous. And question of the day, what would be the worst part of having yourself as a roommate? That is a that is a question for the ages. I realize I don't have avatars on. Let me turn that on. Yeah, oh dear indeed. Okay, where are you? Stream avatars open. There you are. I think the worst part about having me for a roommate is that I'm not messy, but I live cluttered. I don't know if cluttered is even the right word, but it's like, it's not like an IKEA space. Like all of the space in my home is thoughtfully used. So if you don't like that sort of thing, then you probably wouldn't like living with me very much. I'm actively working on being better about the dish situation, but I have a system that only I understand. I am very curious to know what that system entails. It sounds most intriguing. It's not like an IKEA space. Claire Fitzpatrick 2022. That's the kind of content you can expect from me. Ooh, Erica. Do you want to see something cool? Do you want to see something really cool that just came out like about an hour ago? And I may have cried a little bit. It's just like the periods between the dishes in the sink to the dishwasher to the cabinets might be longer than other. I mean, that's fair. Everyone has their thing. Yes, cool thing, please. Okay. Oh god, I'm screaming. What? All right, let me prepare it for you. I'm gonna prepare it. Wait, that's not what I want. Chat looks so cool. Yeah, I revamped the thing, which I was very proud of. All right, here you go.
Everybody I have cared for has either died or left me.
You have no idea what loss is.
It's happening. I am also kind of screaming. I'm really excited. I'm crying, but also Rasmus. I know! It was like 10 seconds, but we saw Joel and Ellie and Bill and like, oh god, Nick Offerman's gonna be an amazing Bill. He's gonna be an amazing Bill. You know what? I need to turn stream elements off. I know, I'm dying. I needed you to see that. I'm just ah! He's going to be amazing. He's going to be such a fucking awesome Bill. Like I can't wait. I do also trust Pedro. I accept and trust Pedro. All right, where is that command? I think it's a timer, right? Yeah, okay. Let's turn that off. There we go. Cool. That's off. My body is convulsing in a really good way. I'm all jittery. Amped. I know, right? I am like the most fucking amped. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so dope, dude. It's gonna be so freaking dope. All right, one last thing, and then we can, I guess, just sort of get into it. Oh my gosh. Okay, all right, we are good. Even look at the date. When is it? They haven't given a date yet. It's just next year, 2023. I know they've wrapped filming. I've heard that much, but I don't know anything else at this point, sadly. Okay, well, if this is your first time on the channel, welcome. My name is Claire. I am an actual professor. I teach at St. Mary's College of California. I teach a class called There's Always a Lighthouse, the case for literary merit in video games. In the class, excuse me, we discuss literature, the definition of literature, and what storytelling elements can be combined to create this rather abstract concept that we call literature. And then we ask ourselves if, by that definition, video games can be considered literature. More often than not, the answer to that question is yes, but of course this is an entirely subjective question. We discuss a variety of games in the course, including but not limited to Horizon Zero Dawn, What Remains of Edith Finch, which we will be discussing tonight, The Last of Us, BioShock Infinite, Red Dead Redemption 2, Spec Ops The Line, among many others. And one of the few drawbacks of this course is I don't get nearly as much time to talk about some of these games as I'd like. Thus, this Twitch channel was born with the intention of playing through the games in their entirety, deconstructing the narrative, analyzing the characters, and working to understand what makes a game more than just a game but an experience to be lived and embraced for the wider merit that it provides the world as well as in our own lives. If that sounds up your alley, then you have come to the right channel, and I am very, very happy that you're here. We're here for our one-shot stream of What Remains of Edith Finch, which I'm super excited to play and share with y'all. Me to the video editors. Hurry. Oh, same. The belch during the intro is so... It really is, you know? I feel like I should just, like, record it and have a burp somewhere in there. Yes, What Remains of Edith Finch is actually a relatively short game. It's only about 90 minutes to 2 hours. So we should be able to get through it relatively quickly. I mean, of course, I will be pausing at certain points to talk about it, but yes, it is a short game, and it's mostly a walking simulator, but it's a very beautiful story. So I'm very, very excited to share it with you all. And since it was relatively short, and I didn't get a chance to stream yesterday, and we haven't done the lecture series for a little over a week, I thought it would be nice to tap into it tonight. So that's what we are going to do, and I'm very, very stoked to do so. Absolutely freaking pumped. So I will say, if you have not played it before or are unfamiliar with it, first of all, it's a wonderful game and a very wonderful, beautiful story. I will caution you, though, and I will provide trigger warning where necessary, but one of the central themes of the game is death. Death is talked about very frequently. It is one of the core components / mechanics of the game. And there are some topics that are discussed that may be distressing. I will provide a warning ahead of time where I can. There's nothing violent, gory, or anything like that. It just discusses some potentially unsettling subjects. So I will provide some warning there ahead of time. But if at any point anything does become distressing, please take care of yourself first and foremost. But yeah, I think other than that, this is a game that I don't want to provide too much synopsis into, other than to say it is a story told through the perspective of a teenage girl named Edith Finch, who is telling the tragic history of 4 generations of her family. So we will be basically walking with Edith through the old family home and exploring the lives of her various family members who have passed before her. And I think that's pretty much the gist of it. So without further ado, start the game. I'm going to see... Seems a little loud. Drop that a bit. Let me know how settings are if you have any issues. How do I open your book, buddy? Oh, there we go.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Actually, before we continue, I want to turn this and this off. Turn this on, maybe? Okay, there we go. I'd rather not take up too much of the screen, where I can, if I can help it. There we go. Although if we have any issues with it, then I'll turn it off. Let's also move. I'm gonna turn off Sebastian for this. If I can find him. Come on, Sebastian, where are you? First, I guess let's make y'all a little bit smaller, so you don't take up too much space. And we're gonna turn off Sebastian. There we go. Bye-bye, Sebastian. Okay, but if at any point you have an issue with the volume or you have an issue with not being able to see captions, anything like that, please let me know. Let me make sure that yes, full screen. Okay. Let's see if there's... Okay. We should be good. So far, so good. All right, cool.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Yeah, the music is wonderful.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Yeah, starts on a very intriguing note. We're left with more questions than anything.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Yes, new lecture series. Hi, Mango. You got here right at the beginning.
Even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now
How are
I have
you, friend?
questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
And it's a one-shot, too. We'll be through it in
The
one
house is
stream.
exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Good. Good. I'm proud of you. And yeah, it is a cool house. Just wait until we get to go through it.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
You got lost? We'll have to discuss.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Hello.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
This is kind of what I mean by clutter. Meaningful clutter.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Lewis Finch. December 27th, 1988 to November 1st, 2010. Family Cemetery.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Like a smile with too many teeth. Oh, that line always gets me. Remember when I was supposed to work tonight? That's not happening. I'm already so invested. Cartons are here, and one was also on the boat. Good catch, Erica.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Missing. If you have information about Milton, call the Orcas Island Police Department. Date missing, October 23rd, 2003. Thanks, Teach. Jesus.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library. Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Yeah, well, plus side, Erica, we do have this family tree, which will develop more, but Edith had two brothers, Lewis and Milton. But we will explore more of the family members as we proceed, so don't worry too much about that yet. Barbara, great-grandma, and then Edie, and then Dawn and children. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, but don't worry. Everything's going to get explored here. Do not worry.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Oh.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
No, no, no. Don't apologize. No reason for apology.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Conflict. Mom doesn't want any visibility into their memory, and Edie defies that with the creation of peepholes. Gregory, Calvin, Sven, Edie.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
What's up, Spin? Just in time. Good to see you. How's it going?
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
She was a movie star, it seems.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Holy wall of portraits, right? Weird for me because my aunt's name is Edie.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
It is, it is.
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
It's a child's bedroom. Molly. Molly Finch.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
(1937 to 1947).
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
I kept eating and eating.
Damn, girl, toothpaste?
I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Oh. Let's
I
go.
tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Slightly mindfucked. I would die happy being a cat. Yeah, I definitely have some thoughts on this on this memory that I will elaborate on. Marketh my words. Stray Part 2. Where am I going? There we go.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Rude. Made it seem creepy. Yeah. Where'd you go, birdie? Hiya! Come here, you little shit. I'll fuck you up.
I jumped and I almost got her.
I want a tasty treat. Curious to see if the hunger has to do with poverty or abuse or something else entirely. I don't think there's much to it, Erica. I mean, I think the concept saying I was sent to bed without dinner is kind of like back in those days. Like if you were an unruly child, you know, the punishment was you went to bed without dinner, so she probably was just a naughty child. Wait, I'm trying to get up here. There we go.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in a big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Again, mama birds proven to be a pain. Come on, mama bird.
I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew
The
off to find
babies!
something bigger.
I got for yeah, okay, yeah, we're on the same page then, Spin.
A mama rabbit.
Oh no, I missed. You alright there, Mamba Rabbit?
She was
Is this
almost
chicken?
human to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Really? How am I supposed to? How am I? Come on now. Come on. Really? This is all you're gonna give me, right? I'll just bounce? Oh, okay. I can use my fins. Come on. There we go. Do barrel roll!
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Oh, it's one of those, like, inverted things.
I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Shake them fins. Come on, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Yeah, unknown.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Woo! Scary. Yeah, it's not really made clear.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
You got to get the captain.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Come on.
I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. I think my takeaway from it, like the literal takeaway, is Molly, after she was sent to bed hungry, ate a bunch of things in her room, including the toothpaste and those like holly berries we saw, which are poisonous. So my theory is that the combination of things caused her to hallucinate before killing her. Like, I imagine eating an entire tub of toothpaste and poisonous berries would probably be enough to put out a 10-year-old without any medical attention. So I think the literal entry in the journal, or the entry in the journal, is more just trying to provide some, I think it's more just a story designed to provide Edie, Grandma Edie, comfort for the death of her daughter, which I imagine she probably blames herself for, and, you know, telling a fantastical story in this way alleviates her and kind of removes her from that grief. But my, how did she know, though? How did she know what? That she had eaten those things? I'll be gone soon. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think the diary entry is not, like, actually Molly. I think it's made up. I think Edie may have written it, or something like that. It's just a theory. But like, it's hard to know, because you're right. Like, there's no way that Edie would potentially know that, but kind of getting to the end part of it, I'm just like, like, I don't know, that's a little too insightful for a 10-year-old. That's what kind of, like, makes me think Edie had a part in that journal entry. I mean, the reality is we don't know. All of it could have been a forgery from Edie. But, you know, my theory is, like, whatever way you want to swing it, that eating those combinations of things just, you know, poisoned and killed her. It's also, I think, worth mentioning, you know, this is December 1947, your theory. Very interested to hear your theory, Spin.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
can exit through here.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Eating things that poison, but to me it felt like she was hallucinating, was writing things down when she felt something was wrong. I think that's, I mean, I feel like that might be the more likely theory, to be honest. I don't know. I'll explain more at the end of why I think Edie is involved.
In Great Grandma Edie's room.
I think that they're, like, I want to say more, but I'm fearful of spoilers, so I will speak more at length about that, about my thoughts at the end.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
And this will also come into play later.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Most of it was her hallucinating that she was going to die from all these things she ate. She knew she shouldn't, but also that a lot of parents back in those times would tell their children not to eat certain things or would kill them even if it wouldn't really, just to get them to stop. Sort of, yeah. This bathroom's a little weird.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Yeah, me too. It drives me bananas.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
Look at that. Sam's, or Calvin's mark stop in 1961. And his room, like, it's so interesting. You see this barrier that was up here for Calvin, and Sam's side of the room aged with him. Film, cigarettes, photos, books. From his enlistment in the Marines. But this side remained like a
I guess my grandpa
living
didn't
memorial.
like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, That was it.
Like a museum, yeah.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
So Calvin was, yeah, one of the brothers. The adventurous brother. Jay! Yo! Jay, thank you so very much for that raid. What is up, my friend? Hello, hello, Bioseer. Hello, Bonjordo. What's up, you guys? Happy Sunday. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to the channel, my name is Claire. I am a,
fucking activate this
let me turn it off.
Oh my god, I was pressing the wrong
Thank
button
you.
the whole time. Holy shit.
Oh, look at that impressive specimen on your face, sir.
Pick up this flare gun.
Thanks for the lurk, Bioseer. I appreciate it.
Battery?
I appreciate that. Thanks for that lurk. If you're new to the channel, my name is Claire. I'm an actual professor. I teach about video games as literature, and I like to do what I call my lecture series on games with strong narratives, where we can deconstruct the characters and analyze the stories. We are currently doing a one and done on What Remains of Edith Finch. And we just got through the second character story. So if that sounds up your alley, then welcome, and I'm very happy you're here. Please sit down and stay a while. And Jay, if you're still here, I got my, very fitting, I got my results back today from my CT scan, still cancer-free. I know we were talking about that earlier. System coming in with a bubble party? What? I mean, you don't gotta pull my leg none, but... I think we have enough left. I'm very near the end of my bubble juice. Yay! I guess being cancer-free, especially now celebrating 1 year cancer-free, does warrant a bubble party. So we will do that. Now, here's the deal, though, with the bubble parties. I need to see all your best dancing emotes. Like, no fucking around. I better see all of the absolute best dancing emotes when I blast that music. Are you guys ready? Because I'm ready. Here come those bubbles. Of course you are! Because it's a great shirt! Yeah, let's see it! Get ready for the breakdown. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And drop. Woo! Thank you so much, System, for that redemption. Appreciate you, my dude. Woo! Woo, 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 woo! Look at all those dancing emotes. I fucking love it. Fucking love it. Thank you guys for being here. Real pleasure to have all of y'all. And so kick back, relax. We're just kind of vibing here with What Remains of Edith Finch. So, please pull up a chair, enjoy yourselves if this sounds up your alley. And let's just have a little fun enjoying the story. This is definitely a more a more chill, kind of relaxed storytelling kind of game/stream. So,
After the funeral,
we'll be doing that.
Calvin's half of the room.
Of course. So you can see Edie was the one that blocked off this half of the room.
Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Yes, I do remember you. How can I forget? Oh, okay. Can I go back? Well, let me go back. It's through here, right? Sorry, Edie. Or Edith. I think it's through here, right? Nope, that's sealed. Bills. Toys. The spelling. Yeah, good call. Ugh, fucking ads. Where's the bath? I don't see any story. I'm horrendous at spelling. Ugh. I would agree there. Blame the keyboard. Where are you seeing a story in the bathroom? I see pills. Like, where are you seeing, where in the bathroom am I supposed to be looking? Poo particle. Oh, I could imagine. I would never. Bathtub, I think. Are you sure? Like, you're actually sure? I know there is going to be a bathtub story, but we're not here yet. Like, that comes later in the story. There is a thing. You're gonna have to give me more like, there is not a whole lot to do in this bathroom. Or even look at. I'll try re-entering it, but like, I entered. We talked about his first wife. Wine drinking on the pot. Yeah, true. Unless there may have been something here. Calvin Finch.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Yeah, there's the camera. We knew about that. Alright, we will proceed. I may have misremembered. Damn it! Like, I know I don't miss shit. I know I don't miss shit. I just got corrected. Damn it, Spin! Oh, I believe you. All right, next.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Yelling to you about the CTV. You guys all try to come in here and be like, Claire, don't forget the thing, as if I don't already know what the thing is.
Afterwards.
She was 16.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch.
We are in a very sad house system.
For her scream.
I just inhaled that popcorn.
Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You gotta love it.
Right. Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
Makes you think.
She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key. She listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Nice! Congrats, Jordo. We love dubs here. Burp. Yeah, thank you.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear! Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding.
Hey, consider it a stroke of good luck.
The late picture show. Hours later.
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Sure did.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
This way?
Wally's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
As much as a camel loves water.
He wasn't moving, but she
What's up,
sensed
Naruto?
the story might not be over yet.
Good whack. And thank you for the hydrate. Appreciate you. Yes, 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 yes.
The hookman vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Thanks, system. Ding dong. Play yo-yo ding dong.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from
Oh, Erica, I don't think you needed to ban him.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
So, oh no, come, oh fine, we'll do it this way. So, Erica, Grandma Edie's children were Molly, Barbara, Calvin, Sam, and Walter. We have seen now Molly and Calvin and Barbara's demise. And then Sam has a daughter whose name is Dawn, and Dawn has a daughter named Edith. So it's going from the bottom up. That's the family tree. I don't need to go back in there, I don't think. So what I want to especially call out about Barbara's story, there's a few things to say here. The running theory, I mean, is Barbara is murdered, and her boyfriend is the murderer, or is the one that killed her and got away. And then very tragically, Walter witnessed the entire thing. Now, what makes this really, really awful is not so much the way that Barbara's room is so preserved and that her legacy is preserved, but that Edie has kept this sort of kind of campy horror comic that really mocks Barbara's death, that uses her death as a scare tactic, as you know, a like an ironic horror, quote unquote. And this is kind of going back to what I was saying, that I think that Grandma Edith has a part to play in the series of events that is transpiring with this family. Even though not directly involved in the death, she is sensationalizing them. And I think that kind of behavior, in not only sensationalizing, but preserving everything following their death in a, like a living memorial, really exacerbates this family's reputation. And it's and already at this point, at the time that Barbara's around, there is a reputation with this family, and it's not great. And but to something we don't really have any reasoning or understanding as to why, but it's something that Grandma Edith is continuing to perpetuate for some unknown reason. All right, now where can I go? Or is this the only place? Maybe this is the only place.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Well, you know what that means. Now we know what's in the music box. We're gonna go open it. Nice. Boom. I have no idea what that means, Jordo, but I'm happy for you. Sven?
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
No. Don't worry, Jay. It was an accident. We've unbanned him. it was a mistake. Erica's just getting the hang of mod life and made a slight mistake. If Naruto, if you're around, we sincerely apologize. He was giving you some shit, though. That's for sure.
She was hiding presents.
Also, how did your stream never end? It was a good trial by fire learning experience for me.
It turned out.
Yeah, if he comes back in, let him know I'm happy to gift him a sub for the mistake. I saw it said message deleted. I thought, oh no, what did they do? No, they said, where's that piece of sperm, Jay? I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. Okay. So.
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Ooh. Usually you need 2 teammates to open the vault to get good weapons, but I'm solo, so I used a boar pig to open it. Oh, nice. One of my mods had to add me in Discord to tell me. Yeah, I sincerely apologize there, Jay. If they come back, I'm happy to gift them a sub.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Yeah, he was referring to Jay. Walter, 1952 to 2005.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive the week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
I know that feeling, Jay.
Living for today.
Now, for perspective, this
I was
is
expected to be dead tomorrow.
this is Walter. This is the brother who witnessed his sister's death.
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
I've caused. I'm so sincerely sorry. No worries, Erica. It's totally fine.
Even a month.
You were being a good mod.
Starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
We were there at the time, so that's probably why I said, seriously, no worries.
And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
Poor Walter. Hiding here in the basement in fear.
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me.
All right, Jay. Good luck with treatment tomorrow, dude. I hope it goes well. I'm really pulling for you, dude.
Whatever's out there.
And get some good rest. You got this.
I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
All good, Erica. All good.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Hey, Shadow, good to see you. Long time no see, friend. All right, so Walter, the other brother, after his sister's death, went and hid in the basement underneath the house out of fear. That was his reaction to trauma. And quite sadly, on the day that he decided to leave his bunker, he was hit by a train. Just out of carelessness. But it's not really his death that I want to focus on. It's more his life. The 30 years he spent in the bunker, because Edie knew the whole time he was down there. Dawn knew the whole time that he was down there. Edith Jr. had no idea he was down there. None of the kids knew that he was down there. But then, if you recall, when we were in Grandma Edith's room, we saw the newspaper and Edith Jr. commenting that Grandma Edie had told a news publication that there was a mole man living under her house. So she was effectively mocking her son, Walter, who was terrified and living under the house out of fear and trauma. And she used it to, once again, perpetuate this story about the Finch family, this cursed family, and to continue to keep them in the spotlight. She has, to this point, effectively brought about the trauma and demise of several of her children to this point. 3 of them. Or 4 of them that we've seen now. 4 of her kids do not reach the age of 18. And that is fucking awful. So, like, when you reflect on that and the willingness to put her children, to mock her children, or to allow her children to be mocked for notoriety, you have to believe that there is some influence that she has on the fates of these family members. You have to make that connection. You have to believe that it in some way has influence or plays a part in what happens to them, even if it's not direct. Or Walter.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made, trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
The power of the human mind cannot be overstated. We would be foolish to think that Edie's influence is not in some way impacting this family's fate, their destinies.
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
There's also the aspect that while you shouldn't keep the unfortunate shortness of your extended family's lives from your children when they decide to ask, it should probably be more realistic rather than stretched reality. Oh yeah, like again, she glorifies these stories.
I think people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
That makes one of us, Edith.
you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
God, the writing in this game is so fucking good.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Good question.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Derpy and Derpy Jr. Burpy, chirpy, burpy, lurpy, zerpy.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
What am I telling you guys? Walter, Barbara, Edie, Sven, Calvin, Molly.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
Me too.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Nowhere else for me to go? Huh? Maybe I do need to keep it. Oh no, I'm done.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand.
Yeah. The tokens about their
But
interests.
the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
Sam
Her
Finch,
dad had
Gregory
been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along.
I will, Erica.
For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Uh-oh. Well, that explains the little belly we see. So now Edith Jr.'s reasoning for coming here becomes much more clear.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Oof.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Sam, Dawn, and her brothers.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Mmm, sounds yummy. Except I hate onions, but everything else sounds great.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though. Aw.
And whether to camp in as long as we don't get set up in there. And oh, amen. I can see and agree with that.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Nothing quite like being outside.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
A little more gas in the tank, I guess. I'm just saying.
What's up,
I'm
Jordo?
not gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff if you want to survive.
I'll be fine.
I do, yeah.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Look at the top right.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that...
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Now keep yourself squared up. Now, great shot, Don! I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
Well, you did miss Edith Jr. letting us, informing us that she is pregnant. She is 22 weeks pregnant.
Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
Come on.
Hang on, kiddo. Just trying to get a shot of the two of us together.
Man, I'm really bad at this.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about
Dad!
This is making me... I know.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Wow, what a way to go. So that was how her grandfather died. Look at all his medals.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Yeah, the trauma is it's a lot. This axe. Don't quite remember where to go. Oh, there we go. Okay. Been my
Sam
least
died,
favorite of the...
Mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Hey, Daniel. After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot. Just a trigger warning, guys. This is a death of a young child. This is the divorce contract between Sam and his first wife.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Than most people think it is. Yeah, it is very heavy, guys.
Hold on, sweetie.
Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
Wee.
I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
You know.
I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
I don't know if there's a whole lot to say here. Other than you know, the decisions we make and influence we have over the people we love and the people around us can and will be a direct influence on our family. And the tragic history of the Finches and the trauma that plagued Sam and ultimately ended his marriage was one of the an indirect consequence to Gregory's death.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
And here's Gus.
A poem for Gus.
I don't know if I can. That's okay. That's okay, Mango. This is a lot. This is a lot.
My father never hit us kids. At least least not very hard. Before
Don't
the
feel
day my
obligated,
mother said
but I
with
appreciate the
such
lurk.
disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Yeah, unwind. I appreciate you being here.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Love your new emotes, by the way.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
So, his dad got remarried, and he wasn't having it. Teenage angst. Yeah, steering this kite's a nightmare.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Dang.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Jeez.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Another example, I think, of generational trauma. I don't want to say that Sam was directly responsible for the death of two of his children, but his arrogance and his stubbornness, and his inability to connect with his wife, his first wife, and later his son, influenced the behavior that made Gus rebel, and led at least partially to his death, and is what drove his first wife away. which made her careless the day that their son Gregory died. All of these things connect.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
And we can see more of how
At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Dawn is the one that's continually trying to run from these things. She just tries to flee.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Hmm. Girl, you're pregnant. Chill. I don't think I was supposed to go down. Let's go back up. Sorry, Edith. I think I was supposed to go out here, right? Yeah.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
They often don't.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
So now we've moved on to Edith's younger brother, Milton. No death date.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Her older brother, excuse me.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Then she sealed the doors. Oh my god. So the tragedy and
Whatever Milton had found in the house.
death date, that portrait, but one in the family tree. Yeah. So I think because Dawn was never willing to admit that he died. I think Edie Edith putting the death date, tells us, like, she's willing to accept that he's no longer here. But also, interesting to note, all of the characters that we've seen so far are drawn out much more clearly. And Milton still has kind of like a childlike drawing interpretation. Although I see that more as Edith paying tribute to her brother more than anything. To his imagination, because that was how he drew himself.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
I may have interrupted you saying something before after she sealed the doors. No, I was just saying that I think Dawn's act of sealing the doors was basically her way of letting him go. Giving up the search, pushing him in the past. Though, interestingly enough, she doesn't give him a death date.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Another trigger warning, guys.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. He took it very seriously.
Yeah, thank you,
I had hoped he'd find
Spin.
himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play.
Hey, Tune.
He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him.
Hey, Chai. Me too.
That all the
I'll talk more about it
even the
when it
stones under
finishes.
his feet were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
Yeah.
St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
How's it going, Chai?
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen.
Oh, I'm sorry
was
you're
on
not
her
feeling
own
good.
quest for
But proud of you for resting.
radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Wart.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
The in-game mechanics for that scene, the conflict between the moving the fish along the line and controlling the his imagination. I had to use each joystick controlled a different function and were opposites of each other, which is very difficult to do because you're focusing on two different objectives at the same time, which if you've ever tried to do that is very hard, just very difficult. So I sympathize so hard with Lewis. And how hard it is.
As much as a camel loves water?
Yeah. How hard it often is to balance the reality with what you wish you had and what you wish you were. In this, Lewis is the first member of the Finch family who we have seen takes the blame for what happened to members of his family, and he cannot bear the burden. And so he constructs a world for himself where he is blameless. And the reality of his perfect blameless world with, or the fantasy of his perfect blameless world with the reality of his life at a dead-end job at a cannery was not resolvable. And that's fucking awful. Yes, hugs indeed. Thank you, Chai. We're coming up on the end game here. All of the hugs, head pats, and comfort. Yes, hugs and head pats and comfort for everyone. Except I don't remember where to go from here. Actually, I don't think I was supposed to leave there. Unclear at present. Oh, I remember, I think. I think I mentioned this briefly earlier, but I don't think it's an accident that we are learning the stories of all of these characters in the most intimate place for a person. You know, their bedroom. Correct, you were not. I think if, for most of us, maybe not all.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Yeah. But if I were to ask you where is the place that you feel the safest, you would probably say, your house, your room, right?
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
I know I would. And I think it's also the
What
place.
happened that night had been coming for a long time.
I think it's also the place that you would know me best.
Maybe I should have come sooner.
Now we make it to Edie's room. Or Edith's room. I'm screwing them up.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now was to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
Yeah, it's not
to our final night together.
It's different for everyone.
All our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Too safe a place for me, and I hardly ever went out of it. Yeah. I'm glad that you're better. Yeah, I think it's more of like a generalized statement.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
An earthquake reminds me of what happened after the Kaikoura quake. New Zealand, when the roar of the sea roaring backwards after the beach was uplifted. It was heard for... I can't imagine what that would have sounded like. Chai. I cannot imagine.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
GG's, guys. There's no after credits scene or anything like that, if you're wondering. But I think you can. I think you can assume for yourself what happened to Edith. So I think the best way to summarize this whole story of the Finch family is in the argument between Grandma Edie and Dawn at the end. When Edie says that she has a right to know these stories, and Dawn responds, "My children are dead because of your stories." And Edith Jr. has put everything together. She understands the power of the belief in a curse and the power of belief. And it consumed Grandma Edie's life. So much so that she passed that trauma on to all of the generations of Finches that came after her. And even though we can't say that Grandma Edie is directly at fault for the deaths of all of her family, I think it's safe to say that the power of her influence and her belief in this curse and this need to believe and to maintain some semblance of attention and notoriety for her family bled into every successive generation and influenced who they were, the choices they made, and the obsessions they had with their own destiny and the desire they had to try to claim their destiny and control their destiny. And in the end, that obsession and fear and resentment and anger doomed all of them. So it's not so much a supernatural curse that plagued this family so much as it was a very literal one. A very tangible one. In the end, we are really the ones that are in control of our choices in our life. But I think anybody who has lived through trauma that stemmed from a family member, you know how deeply complicated that can be. And how often that trauma leaks into your own life and your own choices, whether you will it or not. Obviously, this is an extreme example of that, but I think that that's what this story is. A testament to the power of belief and the power of trauma. Generational trauma, most specifically. I will select Edith to play for the beginning. I recognize that is a lot to unpack. But I am very, very appreciative to all of you for being here. And I hope you enjoyed that story as heavy as it was. I still think that it's a very beautiful game, even if it is a very traumatic one. There was so much about it where coping mechanisms just got to be too much in focus. Yeah. Coping mechanisms, I think, is the best way to put it. But I definitely encourage you to, pause, reflect. I think that there is a lot that we can take away from this game. So, it's a beautiful game for sure. It's an absolutely incredible game. So I very much encourage all of you to play it if you get a chance. But I think that it comes with more that it's even more empowering, or not empowering, but like moving as you're playing through it and actually doing the motions that actually like pull, like the mechanics I think play into the story in some way. Ooh, a Viking fact? I do not know where my Viking fact is, or where my Viking book is, unfortunately. So I'm going to return those points to you, Jordy. I apologize. I just do not have them. I do not know where it went. Where are my streaming tools? I need to go stream manager. Oops. Or just say, Jordy, that I owe you one. I definitely owe you a Viking fact when I find the book. I move shit around, so I just like don't have it at present. I'm really, really sorry. I did a no hearing aids playthrough of it to see how it changed my experience of the story and see how accessible it would be to deaf players. And it still moved me, but in a different way, if it makes sense. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I totally see that. For sure. Like, I think that there's different ways to play this game, but like ultimately, I think that you glean the most from it through those through the mechanics. Actually, like being a part of those mechanics, and I don't know how to phrase it. But like, I mean, I think suffice it to say, it's like when you're in control of the toys in a bathtub and you start to put two and two together and see what's going to happen with, you know, that baby and as the tub is starting to fill, and all you can do is propel that story forward. Yeah. And like, you know, kind of become one with that immersion. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I encourage you all to kind of sit back and reflect. I want to thank you all again for being here. This was a really fun one for me to play. Thank you, Mango, for doing that, for refunding that. I have streamed far later than I ever would have intended, but I'm glad we were able to get through it. I will be back on Thursday. And that'll be fun. We are I don't know what we're going to play yet, but I will let you know as we get to the time. And let me see who is on. Yeah, I won't see you until we get until you get back. But Spin, I will miss you. Y'all, we are gonna go and raid watch Holly, who is currently playing Limbo. I normally don't raid into partnered streamers, but she is a pretty wonderful human that I have gotten to know over the last month or so, and I really love the way that she, engages her community. I think she's a really wonderful human. So I would like to go and share the love with her tonight. So let's all go and say hello to Holly, and give her all of the excitement from the professor and the study party. I will see you guys on Thursday. TBD on what we're going to play. But we definitely will play something. And Saturday, I will not be here. Saturday and Sunday, I will not be streaming. I'm going to be at Comic-Con. Hopefully, I will have some additional dates. If and when I do, I will let you know. But again, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Make sure you give those !raid and send the study party over to Holly. And I really love Limbo, so I think it's a really great game to play. Have a wonderful night, my friends. And as I so often say, be safe, stay sexy. I love you all very much. Have a wonderful night, guys. Bye.
You cheeks, I appreciate you. Susie! First it's Rachel, now it's Susie. What the fuck, Holly? Sushi, thank you so much for the biddies. Claire! Said I play scary games. We're playing Limbo tonight. We're just now starting the game. 2 hours and 40 minutes into chat. It's fine. Claire is freaking fantastic in every single way. Oh my god, Claire is amazing. I met Claire somewhat-ish recently. And she posted on her Instagram story recently. Mango, hi, dude. The mango's uniting. Let's go, dude. Posted on her Instagram story recently and was so freaking sweet and was showing her friends, literally me playing on the TV mortuary assistant. And I was like, oh my god, that's so kind. Hack, what the absolute shit hits, dude. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. 19 to go. God damn, we are not spinning anymore. Holy shit, thank you so much for the 10 gifted. That's absolutely wild, dude. Oh my god. Anyway, everyone please go follow Claire immediately. Like, please. Hi, Bonshorto. How are you? It's good to see you. Welcome in. Herb, thank you for the follow. And then Chai Latte as well, too. Thank you for the follow. Claire, you are still currently live, just so you know. I'm gonna go read